I will try to keep this short. I have 3 girls and we still like to do girl trips for the day. My son got married to a girl named Beth. Now before her first kids, she was average weight, and after it got a lot worse. Her only kid is 8 years old at this point, and she hasn't lost the weight. It's bad enough that she needs constant breaks walking. I used to like her and now I don't due to how she acts. Everywhere we go with her it is constant complaining that she is tired. The last girl's trip to the mall was spent sitting on a bench half the day since she needed constant breaks. If you try to leave she will go on about abandoning her. It's annoying. I invited the girls to go to a farm for a pumpkin patch and pick some apples. It has big orchards and a ton of walking. We went, it was a great time, and some pictures went on Facebook. I got a call from Beth asking why she wasn't invited. I lied saying it was just a family trip, and she accused me of lying. I had enough and told her the truth. I told her she wasn't invited due to her weight. She forces us to stop all the time, and it ruins the trips most days since we don't get to do half the stuff. She called me a jerk and hung up. I am getting texts from my son saying to apologize, but the girls are on my side and are sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. Am I the idiot? P.S. We have done plenty of things that are not physically taxing with her, but even the small stuff she ends up on a bench half the day. We went to a small mall, half the day on the bench. It was window shopping. She is obese, her ankles are swollen from her weight. The connection between her weight and not walking far without a break is very obvious. Are sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. At the risk of being called fatphobic, good for you. Not the idiot. Why should your trips revolve around her? Why should you be forced to plan outings that are within your DIL's step limit? Finally, you're free to only invite your actual daughters to things, too. You aren't blocking her from any and all family gatherings. She just got blocked from this one, which I hope is the first of many trips you and your daughters have been putting off for her sake. Get out there and see the world. It's lovely. OP. I'm so tired of going somewhere and half the time is spent sitting on a bench. I want to do things, not sit around. Personally, I would be extremely annoyed with anyone who asked why they were not invited when I just wanted to do something special with my daughters and then accused me of lying. Nope. I can understand your response. Not the idiot. Beth pushed too hard so you pushed back. That's on Beth. Beth was trying to guilt you. And about the lying? If you boldly ask someone why you were not invited to go apple picking or any place else in the world, chances are very good that it's not going to be for magical and wonderful reasons. The honest answer will always be because we did not want to include you. Best not to ask the question or push too far. Just accept the kind answer. OP. I was annoyed by that. My first thought was apparently I can't do things without her with my kids. Not the idiot. There needs to be balance. Beth needs to bow out of things that too physically taxing for her, use mobility aids so that she doesn't hold up the entire group, and not complain when others opt not to spend most of the activity time waiting on her. When you do include her in things, hopefully, you choose things that don't require much walking, and when you do need to leave her, don't cave to her whining. Tell her you love her and you'll meet back up in 20 minutes or rotate who gets to sit with her. I think her attitude more than her weight is going to keep her excluded. And I hope her 8-year-old isn't being left out too. OP. The grandson is great, he is invited to family-friendly events. Number 8-year-old wants to go window shopping or be stuck at a fancy restaurant for the night. My husband and I are best friends during the day. Love of my life. It's at night that's an issue. I'm a blanket stealer. I once yanked them so hard that poor hubby flipped a full 180. Hubby, for his part, is a thrasher. Bruce Lee would be jealous of the moves he pulls off while unconscious. It's a constant war between us when we fall asleep, and both of us often wake up sore and exhausted. It was starting to affect our relationship. Neither of us wanted to move to a separate bed because we like spending our nights together, but it seemed inevitable. We were both crabby every morning, and we started fighting as soon as we got up. Neither of us wanted to concede defeat and move to the other bed. Quick background. I was a huge nerd as a teenager. Full on otaku, go ahead, cringe, I do too. One night as a joke, I brought down an old anime body pillow from the attic, I know, the cringe, and plopped it down between my husband and me, declaring it our demilitarized zone. Hubby also thought it was hilarious, and we named her DMZ-chan. She stayed there the whole night. It was a game changer. DMZ-chan protected me from hubby's REM-induced rampages, and she's just heavy enough that I can't yank the blankets at full speed. DMZ-chan is now a beloved part of our nightly routine. We both thought it was the funniest thing, but she legitimately helped us solve the only real issue in our marriage. One day, Mill stopped by to pick something up. She got up to use the restroom, passing by our open bedroom door. You can guess what she saw. DMZ-chan, propped up in the middle of our bed, her giant soulful anime eyes looking right back at Mill. When she got back, she quickly grabbed her stuff and left, and hubby and I were both confused. She later mentioned DMZ-chan to hubby while they were on the phone, and it absolutely mortified him. As far as I know, Mill now thinks we're deviants in a three-way relationship with a body pillow. Hubby was too embarrassed to explain, and now he wants to put DMZ-chan back in the attic. I was upset. I told him I didn't want to go back to boxing each other at night and that DMZ-chan helped us so much. He agreed but suggested we get a normal plain body pillowcase to replace her. I felt like there was no need to spend money on something we already had, and if it really was that big of an issue, we can put her in the closet while we had company over. Hubby is firm in that she has to go permanently. I know he's embarrassed, but I feel we shouldn't have to compromise our inside jokes to appease other people. Am I the idiot? Update. I admit I was being stubborn. I drove over to Target on my lunch break and bought a new cover for $10. I put it on DMZ-chan as soon as I got home. I did wash her after fishing her out of the attic, and I'm now waiting on hubby to get home so I can apologize for making him uncomfortable. DMZ-chan shall live on in our hearts. And under the blanket when the company's over. Not the idiot, the real problem isn't about removing the pillow, but the fact that your Mill made a scene about something that isn't any of her business. Your husband should stop enabling that. Everyone is the idiot here. Mill is the idiot for making such a big deal about it. Husband for not explaining a simple and straightforward situation to his mom and instead having this knee-jerk reaction. You for not taking the reasonable compromise of a plain pillowcase for it. Okay, but it's not about appeasing other people anymore, is it? Your husband is now uncomfortable with the pillow. You wouldn't be uncomfortable with the plain pillow he is suggesting, so it seems pretty obvious what the choice here should be. You're the idiot. Unpopular, I know. So, ever since I had my son months ago, my husband has started making indirect comments about my body. He never says any hurtful words, but I find his observations as he calls them hurtful. For example, he'd see me wearing an old top and say, "Oh, that top used to look good on you, but not anymore though." Or when he looks at my waist and says, "Wow, didn't know your waist could get this wide." Basically passive stuff that I tried to ignore till it extended to friends and family. For your information, this went on for months and months and months. We went to a Christmas celebration at his family's home. My sil complimented my floral maxi dress and my husband said, "I agree it looks nice on you. Though I have to admit that your waist could get smaller than this." Awkward silence took over. I was absolutely fuming and this was my last straw. So I got up from my chair in the middle of dinner and shouted at the top of my lungs, "Shut up about my body." He was absolutely speechless as his family stared while some others tried to get me to calm down, but the situation got tenser and dinner ended up being cut short, and my husband stormed off to his friend's place to spend the night upon leaving a very nasty text saying I embarrassed him and made a scene over an observation he made. He called me childish and told me to get therapy for my insecurities instead of verbally abusing him and scaring his family. Now I feel like an absolute idiot and like I ruined Christmas for him and everybody with my oversensitivity. Am I the idiot? I think the last thing your husband really wants is for you to get therapy. If you do, you'll discover that he is an emotionally abusive bully and stop feeling guilty for refusing to put up with his crap. Not the idiot, but your husband is. Do as he recommended and get therapy so that you can regain the self-confidence he has eroded with his cruel observations. Not the idiot. Divorce him. He's gaslighting you. His observations, as he calls them, are all direct insults. He is actively body shaming you. Likely on purpose and fully aware of what he's doing. He wants you back as you were before and fails to realize that bodies change. He is abusing you mentally and verbally. You simply reach the breaking point and let it out. Don't start bottling up again. Rebuke him every time he says something, in front of everyone until he either learns or leaves. Or in other words, he's shown his true colors. Not the idiot. This is not passive-aggressive and it is not an observation. It is degrading, humiliating, and abusive. He's gaslighting you. The fact the comment during Christmas dinner was met with awkward silence shows that people see he is being an idiot to you. He embarrassed himself and started the scene. You simply had enough of his crap and stood up for yourself. Good for you. Please save yourself and your child from this toxic relationship.